కనిపిస్తారు
సార్ మీరు నెక్స్ట్ స్లైడ్ కి నొక్కితే నెక్స్ట్ స్లైడ్ వెళ్తుంది. ఇది సార్ పేజ్ డౌన్ ఉంది కదా సార్, నొక్కండి సార్.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Vijay Kumar, from head of the Department of Gynecology, speaking to you. And today we shall discuss about the antepartum hemorrhage. Antepartum hemorrhage is the bleeding from the genital tract after 28 weeks of pregnancy before delivery. There may be so many causes for antepartum hemorrhage. One is accidental hemorrhage or abruptio placenta. Second one is placenta previa. Third one is vasa previa and marginal sinus rupture. These are the various causes for antepartum hemorrhage. Abruptio placenta or abruptio placenta or premature separation of the placenta. Definition: this antepartum hemorrhage due to premature separation of the normally situated placenta. Here, generally the placenta is situated in the upper segment, and generally it gets separated after the delivery of the fetus, and it will be delivered out. But here in this condition, the separation of the placenta occurs from the uterine wall after 28 weeks of pregnancy and before delivery. So it is called premature separation of normally situated placenta. Here the situation of the placenta is normal. That means in the upper uterine segment. And the varieties of abruptio placenta are retroplacental hematoma, and revealed visible externally is the commonest one, and concealed, not visible outside, and it is very rare. And both, it may be revealed or concealed. Both may be mixed. Coming to the etiology, causes of accidental hemorrhage are advanced age of the mother or grand multi. That means pregnancy is more than 5 is called grand multi. So others are toxemia of pregnancy, like preeclamptic toxemia, chronic hypertension, chronic nephritis, and due to the trauma, marginal separation of external cephalic version, and fall or blow on the abdomen. Sudden uterine decompression due to diminished surface area, delivery of the first baby of the twins, and hydramnios. Sudden decompression or in acute hydramnios, we may tap the uterus because of the maternal exertion. So in that also, if we take out more of fluid, suddenly amniotic fluid, there may be premature separation of the placenta. And it can also occur due to the short cord. If the umbilical cord is too short, it may occur. And the supine hypotension syndrome, this possibility of abruptio is common. And folic acid deficiency and torsion of the uterus are the other causes of abruptio placenta. Here the pathogenesis is preeclampsia, the spasm of the vessels, degeneration and deciduo basalis, degeneration and necrosis of deciduo basalis, and placental separation occurs. Then complete accumulation of blood behind the placenta and dissect downwards in between membranes and the uterine wall into the amniotic cavity. Then the cowlier uterus, severe form of concealed abruptio placenta, diagnosed on laparotomy, dark port wine color uterus, not an indication per se for hysterectomy. So it is not an indication for hysterectomy. Here, when we induce labor with syntocin on oxytocin, you have to give more of oxytocin for the acceleration of the labor. Here, it is the uterus gives a bronze color or port wine color because of the clots going into the myometrium, and the color of the uterus changes. The other changes in the organs are liver and kidney. Then blood coagulopathy occurs. Clotting time increased. Fibrinogen levels become low. Platelet count becomes low. And uh, enhanced clotting time and increased fibrinogen degradation products will take place. Then clinical classification, it is divided into 3 grades. Actually 4 grades. Grade 0 will be able to diagnose only after the delivery of the placenta. Will find few retroplacental clots after separation of the placenta and delivery of the placenta. That is called grade 0. The external bleeding will not be there, uterine tenderness will not be there, signs of shock will not be there, and the fetal heart rate will be preserved, and the coagulation defects will not occur. And grade 1 is the external bleeding will be seen, and uterine tenderness may or may not be present, and features of shock will not be present, and fetal heart rate will be good, and will be no coagulation defects. Grade 3, here the external bleeding will be may be present or may not be present, and the uterine tenderness is present, and the signs of shock will be absent, and fetal heart sounds will be heard, and coagulation defects will not be there. And coming to the grade 3, the external bleeding may or may not be present. It is mostly in the concealed type of abruptio, and uterine tenderness will be there, and signs of shock will be there, and fetal heart sounds will be absent, and coagulation defects will be present. And the difference between revealed and concealed type of accidental hemorrhage are pain. In the revealed type, abdominal discomfort will be there, but in concealed type, acute tenderness will be there. Acute and intense tenderness will be there. And vaginal bleeding will be moderate in revealed type, and concealed type, the amount of bleeding will be less. And bleeding and shock will not be present in revealed type, and it will be present in concealed type, where the amount of shock will be more than the appearance of the blood in revealed type, whereas in concealed type, the shock will be more, though there is no external bleeding, and pallor will be more, will be there, but is less in revealed type, and it is more, pallor will be more in concealed type. In spite of no bleeding seen externally, the amount of pallor will be more because it's more of a concealed type of abruptio placenta. And toxic symptoms will not be there in revealed type, and toxic symptoms features will be there more in concealed type. And uterine revealed type, the uterine height is proportionate, whereas the uterine height will be more than the corresponding period of gestation in concealed type, because behind the placenta, clots will be formed. It gives an appearance of the uterus more than the period of gestation. And tenderness is localized in revealed type. In concealed type, tense, tender, and rigid uterus will be felt. Fetal parts will be identified in revealed type, whereas in concealed type it is difficult because the uterus will be tender, acutely tense. So you'll not be able to make out the fetal heart, parts. And fetal heart sounds are heard in revealed type, whereas they are absent in concealed type. Urinary output is normal, whereas in concealed type, urinary output will be decreased. Hemoglobin percentage will be low and markedly lower in concealed type. Coagulation defects will not be seen in revealed type, and it is seen in concealed type. And proteinuria will not be there in revealed type of abruptio, and it is there in concealed type. The differential type diagnosis with the abruptio placenta previa, where the placenta is situated in abnormal positions, whereas in abruptio placenta, it is situated in a normally normal position, and rupture of the uterus. And these are the things to be differentiated from abruptio placenta. Acute hydramnios, where the abdomen will be tense, and other are tonic uterine contraction. This is a type of abnormal uterine contraction where it has to be differentiated from abruptio placenta. Twisted ovarian tumor. Here also the abdomen will be tender and tense, and volvulus, because of the intestinal pathology, the volvulus may occur and it may be confused with the abruptio placenta. And perforated bowel and rectus sheath hematoma. These are the conditions to be differentiated from abruptio placenta. Prognosis, it is worse in concealed type, fetal death due to prematurity and anoxia, and maternal due to shock, blood coagulation defects, and renal shutdown. Here the prognosis is grave. To prevent abruptio placenta, prevention of PIH, trauma, anemia, blood coagulation defects, supine hypotension, and folic acid deficiency are to be corrected. Here, coming to the management of abruptio placenta, general management and abdominal examination. Generally, the patient has to be looked for blood pressure. There's a conjunctiva to be seen, tongue to eliminate anemia, and fetal status has to be assessed to know the fetal heart rate. Doppler examination has to be done, and assessment of blood loss will do by hematocrit and other laboratory instance will do assessment of the blood loss. You have to do blood grouping and RS typing, hemoglobin percentage, hematocrit, coagulation profile, and resuscitation has to be done. In revealed, when the patient is in labor, ERM, artificial rupture of membranes, and oxytocin drip has to be put. Patient not in labor, about 38 weeks, ERM, artificial rupture of membranes, and oxytocin drip to be put. When the patient is when the pregnancy is less than 38 weeks, bleeding stops, expectant line of treatment, continue pregnancy up to 38 weeks. Any bleeding per vaginum during the treatment, we have to terminate the pregnancy by doing artificial rupture membranes and oxytocin. In concealed type, blood transfusion to be given, coagulation profiles to be done, and urinary output has to be monitored, and fetal monitoring to be done. And depending on the fetal monitoring and the status of the fetus, we have to terminate the pregnancy by doing artificial rupture of membranes and oxytocin. And falling fibrinogen levels is an indication for termination of pregnancy. Oliguria, fetal distress, cesarean section, hysterectomy is very rare. When the uterus is atonic, in spite of all the lines of treatment for atonic PPH, we have to lastly resort for hysterectomy. Next topic.
నెక్స్ట్ సార్ ఈసారి స్లైడ్స్ ఒక దాంట్లో మార్క్ చేసేద్దాం సార్.
ఏంటమ్మా?
సార్ అన్ని స్లైడ్స్ ఒకే దాంట్లో మార్క్ చేస్తే కొద్దిగా మనకి ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది సార్. ఇది కదా సార్ ప్లాజెంటా.
కనబడలేదు. Now coming to the other cause of antepartum hemorrhage, we shall discuss placenta previa. Here the placenta is situated normally in position, and normally it's normal in position. That is, here we are showing the fetal surface with blood vessels, arteries and vein, umbilical cord, and amnion. This is the maternal fetal surface, and the maternal surface also with cotyledons is seen here. Placenta provides the fetus with oxygen and nutrients and take away waste such as carbon dioxide via umbilical cord. We are given a transverse section of the uterus with the fetus in situ. The placenta previa is, in placenta previa, the placenta is implanted in the lower uterine segment and located over the internal os. It constitutes an obstruction to the descent of the placenta. Wherein abruptio, the placenta is in anatomically normal position. In placenta previa, the placenta will be not in the normal situation, but it will be migrating to the lower uterine segment from the upper uterine segment. The placenta is implanted in the lower uterine segment and located over the internal os. It constitutes an obstruction to the descent of the presenting part. Because it lies in the lower uterine segment, it at times causes obstruction of the descending part, whatever presentation is there. Main cause of obstetrical hemorrhage is placenta previa. Coming to the incidence of placenta previa is approximately 1 in 2,000 births. Increase with each pregnancy, and it is estimated that the incidence in women who have had 6 or more previous deliveries may be at high as 1 in 20 births. So, multiparity and grand multi are more prone to have placenta previa. Doubled in multiple pregnancy, such as twins and triplets, the placental size will be more, so it may occupy the lower uterine segment. The causes of placenta previa are endometrial factors. A scarred endometrium lining of the uterus, curettage for several times, an abnormal uterus may give rise to placenta previa. Placental factors are large placenta, as in multiple gestation, abnormal formation of the placenta, like placenta accreta, increta, they will cause placenta previa. Development retardation of fertilized egg can also cause placenta previa. The risk factors include multiparity, previous delivery or multiple pregnancy, previous myomectomy. Myomectomy means removal of the uterine fibroids through an incision in the uterus, and a previous cesarean section if the scar is low, close to the vaginal cervix of the region. Any scar on the uterus is likely to cause placenta previa. Coming to the anatomical classification of placenta previa, low-lying placenta previa is called type 1. Lower margin of the placenta encroaches into the lower uterine segment, but not up to the os. Marginal placenta previa. This is type 2 placenta previa. The edge of the placenta is at the margin of the internal os. Partial placenta previa. This is type 3 placenta previa, where the internal os is partially covered by the placenta. Total placenta previa are type 4. So placenta previa are of 4 types. Just low-lying placenta, then marginal placenta, then partial placenta, and total placenta previa. Here, the placenta lies in the internal cervical os, and covered completely by the placenta. So, internal cervical os is covered completely by the placenta in type 4. So, there are 4 types of placenta previa. This is type 1, type 2, type 3, and type 4. Here, there is a low-lying placenta. This is just margin enclosing the internal os. Here, partially covering the internal os, and the placenta completely covers the internal os. The classification is minor and major. Minor type is type 1 and type 2 anterior. Major types are type 2 posterior and type 3 and type 4. The type 2 posterior comes under major because when the patient goes into labor, the placenta gets, when it is posterior type 2, it gets compressed between the sacral promontory and the head of the fetus. So it comes under major type of placenta previa. Type 3 and type 4, here we prefer to do cesarean section instead of vaginal, allowing the patient to go for vaginal delivery. In type 1 and type 2, anterior, if the other factors are normal, we can allow vaginal delivery. But in major type of placenta previa, it is better to go for cesarean section. Clinical findings. Coming to the symptoms, the patient comes with the spotting during first and second trimesters. She comes with the sudden, painless, and profuse vaginal bleeding in pregnancy during the third trimester. The patient may be sleeping at night, and in the middle of the night, when she gets up from the bed in the morning, she may be in the pool of blood. So, because it's the painless vaginal bleeding, and it is sudden without any warning symptoms. So, uterine cramping may occur with onset of bleeding, and bleeding may not occur until after labor starts in some cases. So there may be bleeding that may stop on its own accord, and with conservative line of treatment, it may not recur till the patient goes into labor in future. Since when we examine the uterus is usually soft and relaxed, the infant position is, because the placenta lies in the lower uterine segment, it may be in the oblique lie or in the transverse lie in about 15% of the cases. Fetal distress is not usually present unless vaginal blood loss has been heavy enough to induce maternal shock, placental abruption, or a cord accident occurs. No digital examination to be conducted. To diagnose placenta previa, history to be taken, painless hemorrhage at late pregnancy or delivery, history of curettage or cesarean section, diagnosis by signs, abdominal findings. On abdominal finding, uterus is soft, relaxed, and non-tender, unlike accidental hemorrhage, where the uterus will be tender and rigid and contracted in abruption placenta. Whereas in placenta previa, uterus is soft, relaxed, and non-tender. Contraction may be palpated in placenta previa. A high presenting part can't be pressed into the pelvic inlet. Generally, it is in breech presentation. Because of the placenta occupying the lower uterine segment, the presenting part can't be pressed into the pelvic inlet. Fetal heart tones may disappear in shock or in abruption. Diagnosis by speculum examination. Rule out local causes of bleeding, such as cervical erosion, cervical polyp or cancer by speculum examination. Limited vaginal examination, seldom used. Generally, we don't advise vaginal examination. Palpation of the vaginal forms to learn if there is any intervening bogginess between the fornix and the presenting part. Rectal examination is useless and dangerous. The best diagnostic tool is ultrasonography. The most useful diagnostic method is in 95% you'll be able to diagnose by ultrasonography. Not make diagnosis at the mid-pregnancy because it may be low-lying placenta. As the uterus grows, it may be taken off and may occupy the may recede. Instead of in the lower uterine segment, it may recede to the upper segment. So you should not make diagnosis at the mid-pregnancy. MRI is the best diagnostic tool, and with generally most of the cases can be diagnosed with ultrasonography. Check the placenta and membrane after delivery, whether the placenta is completely out or not. The other conditions to be differentiated are placental abruption, vaginal bleeding with pain, tenderness of the uterus, vascular previa, and abnormality of the cervix. Like the cervix, there may be growth, polyp, malignancy, erosion of the cervix. These things are to be differentiated. When a pregnant woman comes with antepartum bleeding, cervical erection, polyp or cancer to be differentiated. The maternal complications, major hemorrhage, shock and death. Implanted placenta, anemia and infection are the complications, and fetal complications are prematurity. Infant less than 36 weeks of gestation is responsible for about 60% of infant deaths secondary to placenta previa. So fetal blood loss or hemorrhage may occur because of the placental tearing away from the uterine wall during labor. It may also occur with entry into the uterus during cesarean section delivery. So the placenta becomes like it will be torn just like a wet blotting paper. It will be that much friable in case of placenta previa. So while doing cesarean section, as it is lying in the lower uterus segment, we may have to go by cutting through the placenta. Then we have to deliver the baby immediately. The course of treatment depends on the amount of abnormal uterine bleeding, whether the fetus is developed enough to survive outside the uterus, the amount of placenta over the cervix, and the position of the fetus, the parity number of previous births for the mother, and the presence or absence of labor. The treatments are expectant therapy, bed rest, controlling the contractions by giving myself, treatment of anemia, preventing infection, termination of pregnancy, cesarean section, total placenta previa 36 week, partial placenta previa 37 week, and heavy bleeding with shock. So, depending on the type of placenta previa, we have to act and treat accordingly by doing a vaginal delivery or cesarean section. Preventing postpartum hemorrhage, Pitocin and progestrogens are to be given. Hysterectomy, placenta accreta or uncontrolled bleeding, which may require hysterectomy. Treatments, vaginal delivery, marginal placenta previa, then we can do vaginal delivery. Vaginal bleeding is limited. The maternal prognosis, probably outcome, is excellent when managed appropriately. This is done by hospitalizing those at risk for exhibiting signs and symptoms and by performing C-section and delivery. So any doubts you can ask. అయిపోయింది ఎగ్జిట్ నొక్కాలా అవసరం ఏం కనబడలేదు